We are here today with Toy Tony and his buddy DJ, and they're going to be reviewing Transformers Takara's Masterpiece 24
Starsaber.
Starsaber.
Now here's the boxing. This was something I was telling Tony about before. You notice right here, like his jet is really high quality resolution, and then the robot back here is kind of blurry.
Yes, I don't know why. They must have had a bad picture
Bad
for
angle.
some reason. Yeah.
Could be. The top of the box shows him with his show accurate version of his sword, which this is the hilt for his show accurate version. We'll get to that in a second. And then the back just shows a few of his features, as well as, you know, actual size of all of his components here.
Cool.
Okay, so for anybody who's not a die-hard Transformer fan and doesn't know what this guy is, Japan basically said when we finished our Transformers, they didn't like the end of it. They said, screw you, we're going to do our own show. And they did their own version of Headmasters, which was a pretty good show. Ultra Magnus died in it, killed by 6-shot. Optimus Prime died again, Rodimus Prime left, and Fortress Maximus became the leader of the Autobots.
No spoilers. Should have said that before you said all that, but...
Right. Well, I'm
oh, no.
Well, anyway, after that, they released what they call the Master Force, and we got most of those toys here in America. But what they did with Master Force is they retconned their own story. They said, from now on, Autobots and Decepticons have been living on Earth for centuries disguised as humans. And now actual humans are going to become Transformers. And that was the whole gimmick. Well, at the end of the series, the robots cast off their human parts and said, oh, we don't need the humans anymore. We've got our own emotions and personalities, which are your personalities, but we're keeping them. Bye. And then they went straight to this show. This show took place like years after Master Force, so they didn't really explain a whole lot. But this guy was the new leader of the Autobots. Now, he's kind of a spiritual successor to Power Master Optimus Prime in that he has the same gimmick. He has a smaller robot that unlocks the feature into a slightly bigger robot that combines with another piece to make this guy.
Wow. Cool backstory.
Anyway.
How long have you had him?
Not too long. He's only been out for about a month here in the States. He's been out almost 2 months in Japan.
What's he retail for?
Right now, if you want to get him, I think you'd get him for like $170 to $180. That's with shipping.
Where'd you get him off of?
I got this one off of BigBadToyStore.com. This is known as the fan demanded character. Because what they did is they did a poll for the 30th anniversary of Transformers, and they said, who's going to be the next masterpiece? And they literally listed off every Autobot leader since Rodimus Prime, including Fortress Maximus.
Wow. And
this is the guy that won the vote, and I voted for him too. But we always thought, on the original toy, this head was huge, and it looked like, you know, kind of like Optimus Prime. And then when you take this head off, underneath it, you have a head that kind of looked like Ultra Magnus. So we called that his Ultra Magnus head, and we decided this guy was Optimus Prime's brother, because I had Power Master Optimus Prime at the time, because the actual toy head was like huge to compensate for the gimmick. He's got a couple of different accessories here, and a lot of that focuses around his sword. Okay, so his sword, of course, is a major deal as it's carried on into other media. The Starsaber was in Armada as 3 minicons that combined together. It's been in Transformers Prime. I believe that's supposed to be the sword Optimus had in the new movie.
Transformed this sucker for us. And
I've already taken the smaller robot out here. You saw how his head moved and everything. But I wanted to choke on the body right here because this guy, he doesn't have a lot of the extra flaps and moving parts that a lot of the Masterpiece figures have to make him look more like he did in the cartoon. What he does have is way more articulation. Now, he's got your standard knee bends and the swivels and everything right here. He's got double jointed arms though. And what's neat is the way they did the joints on his arms is this is a second joint here and another joint here. So he can still create like he's got his arms straight out to the side with the shoulder piece moving out of the way, which is really neat. But then they also added a little click right here so you can rotate his arms forward for really cool two-handed poses. Not only did they do that, but they also added an ab crunch. And what's cool too is
how many
he's also got
that have an ab crunch?
None. He's also got a side-to-side tilt on his waist. And when you turn his waist, it makes that waist tilt a little bit to begin with, so it gives him a natural waist twist, which I think is really cool. Plus, he can move his toes and everything. This is his booster. This is the V-Star booster. Basically, he can ride this like a lot of mecha animes that you've seen out there, like Tekkaman, or he can also combine with it when he's in his vehicle mode. And this is his core robot. This is Saber. Get it? Starsaber. Now, like I said, he's a Brain Master. His gimmick was, the Brain Master's gimmick was they had little robots. Each one represented a specific stat, like his specifically is courage. And the core robot would have no face until the Brain Master fused into their chest, and then their face would appear. The original toys, the Brain Masters were like big blocks, and whenever you put them in there and lift up on their door, it would squeeze their legs up because they had a little spring in their chest, and their face was inside the chest. This time they did another way of doing it. The face is actually part of the robot. So I'm going to go ahead and open him and pull out his Brain Master.
Wow, it's a mini-me.
And see, no Brain Master, no face.
Oh shit, do that again?
I know, that is so cool. Look at that. Check that out.
Okay, when you pulled him out, his face fell down.
No. Face. When you open it without
that.
Ah, okay.
When he combined this way, he'd yell out, "Brain set!"
Cool.
And the original toy of this guy was a solid red piece of plastic with white arms and legs, and I never noticed the sculpted details, but you can sort of see it here. And in the cartoon, basically this guy looks like the full Starsaber body, but with this guy's head. Which is how, whenever he was combined, when he wasn't fighting, that's how he was through most of the cartoon. Okay. You can pop open the cockpit right here, and of course, the Brain of Courage, or Yukio, I believe it was.
Yukio, what?
Fits right in there.
Oh, hell, Pikachu.
And you can totally fly that thing. In this mode, it can also plug right in here.
Finish off that.
Wow.
Those fold up right there. And then you have the full combined jet. And if they ever do Victory Leo, he combines back here and becomes another part. The swords, just like in the cartoon, they store right in here.
Really cool.
Because whenever he transformed, he'd throw the front of his jet here, it would smack here, and then pull out as the sword. His cartoon accurate sword hilt has a little hole back here that it can plug into. I'm not going to try to force it in there because it's hard to get into. This, however, does not store anywhere. Now, what I didn't bring, and you can see it here, is this little shield. This shield comes with an extra part that you can slide out and turn into a display base.
I see the shield makes him look like a Gundam.
I've actually had a few people say that. Now, one thing about this guy I will say, I don't think he looks like a Gundam, but he's very anime, more so than the other Transformers. He doesn't have that very metallic look to it, so he is going to stand out on a masterpiece shelf if you collect these, because he's going to be more cartoon colored and plus taller.
Pick up.
Yeah, I've been after this guy. This is one of my holy grails. I've been after, since I couldn't get the original, I'm taking the masterpiece.
Cool.
You're taking the master.